Oh, I got some stuff at the bank done that I did not have to line up to do.
Wow, excellent. Camille?
Yeah.
I got some additional research done on a mentorship paper that I'm doing, so I felt accomplished.
Excellent. Renato?
Yes, and we've been planning and we've been finalizing our plans for the Alumni Association's Understanding Mental Health for Professionals
This is Arthur
panel
Lovejoy.
discussion. Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
For Brittany Bridget Davis, guys, that was a big achievement.
That was a big
She
achievement.
had her art image entitled Her to Her displayed in Times Square, New York.
Ooh, congratulations
Wow,
to her.
congrats to her.
Excellent news.
Just in case you didn't know it, Brittany Bridget Davis is Trinidad born. Where is she from, guys?
She's from Palo Seco.
South Trinidad, yeah.
South Trinidad.
South, deep
Trinidad, born and bred.
Yep.
And her art is presently being displayed in Times Square, New York, by a company called Art Innovation. It's Art Innovation.
Yes.
Yes, Art Space Innovation. And Art Space Innovation basically focuses on displaying talented artists' work on billboards, along train stations, and other innovative spaces so people can see it.
Yeah.
So we have a Trinidadian with this big spread billboard with her piece, Her to Her. And we want to really recognize her achievement at the end of this week. Go look her up, guys. Like I said, her name is Brittany Bridget Davis, born and bred from Palo Seco, Trinidad, and her art is displayed there. So as we get into our show, do you want to grab some popcorn? Get comfortable, start eating? Well, that's not a problem, but what we want to chat about here today is you avoiding not that type of popcorn, but the popcorn of the mind.
Yes.
Renato?
It's called popcorn brain. And I'm sure I don't know if we've ever heard about the term before, but it's called popcorn brain. And surprisingly enough, it's something that we all know about and may have seen but would have never recognized, and somebody's finally put a term to what it's called, right?
So is it one of those new terms?
It's very much a new term, but it's not a new condition. So popcorn brain is the tendency for our attention to focus and jump quickly from one topic to the other with like popcorn, like popcorn when it's popping, right? And without paying full attention or giving full focus to one topic or the other. So it's basically our shortened attention span, right? So popcorn brain, as we said, it's not something that's new. It was coined in 2011 by the University of Washington. And the mental health experts are sharing new ways now to combat this phenomenon. Because something we've noticed is that on average, the daily usage of like screen time that somebody has is 2 hours and 23 minutes.
24.
24.
Come on, guys, we can agree to
Different
disagree.
sides of the table.
Our readers clearly were different.
And that is only social media screen time. That is not
Wow.
work-related screen time. So
Wow.
we spend
This is per hour. I mean per day,
per
sorry.
day. So we spend about 2.5 hours just scrolling on social media,
Wow.
right? And based on that, our attention span has dropped, right? The things that we've noticed over the last few years that we said is that our attention span switched from, in 2004, it was about 2.5 minutes. To 2012, it's 75 seconds. In 2024, our attention span has now dropped to 47 seconds.
Oh. So basically, if you don't catch my attention in the first 10 seconds, that's it.
That's it.
You lose me.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, wow.
So what do we think about popcorn brain? What do you think are the causes of that?
Well, right now what I'm thinking about is obviously popcorn in a pot and where they got the terminology from. So basically it's, if you're looking at the pot, when one
Kernel, yeah.
when one kernel pops, another pops and your attention moves across to that,
Yeah.
and you keep jumping from thing
One
to thing,
thing.
which essentially is the notion of scrolling.
Yeah.
Essentially, if it is in the first 2 seconds, I am not impressed. By the swipe of a finger, I can be entertained differently 1,000 times.
So
And our attention span is 47 seconds.
47
However, I
seconds.
think it's extremely unfortunate because what happens now is that behavioral pattern moves on to other areas of our lives.
Yeah.
So hence our attention spans now, may that be work, may that be sometimes in a task as driving our ability to focus on certain things it's decreasing, and then with that, the margin of error in other areas increase.
Yeah.
So that is something that we really need to look at and to be mindful of. Hence the reason I know that with some digital devices, there's actually a time, you can put a time stamp to state, well, okay, I'm only going to be on here for 15 to 20 minutes within one sitting of scrolling, you know, to help you with that. So one needs to be mindful as to how it is affecting them, and it can cross over to other aspects of their lives.
So Ray, if we take that same thing, because it will affect our personal lives, but switch that. I'm a marketing expert, and I want to create ads. So now I have to create ads, keeping in mind that if I don't capture my audience in the first 10 seconds, they're going to move on to another ad. So how much pressure does that add to my job? Or let's switch it. Let's talk about education. So if as a teacher, facilitator, lecturer, I cannot capture the attention of my students in the first 10 seconds of class, then what? And now you have online classes. Is it that they're just going to scroll past me and go to one of these social platforms?
But that's a dynamic that's really difficult, because as a marketer or as an educator, let's say I am doing something like algebra, or I am preparing you for ACCA, or I want to teach you Pythagoras' theorem or something like that. How do I do that in 10 seconds? How do I give you enough content in the first 10 seconds to grab your attention and then funnel you into a position where you want to spend an hour to hour and a half learning my step-by-step process that has to be shown in that dynamic for a complicated product that cannot be sold in 10 seconds? What do I do now?
Yeah.
It's all on the hook as a marketer.
Well,
So
right.
you, within that 10 seconds, you either asking a question, pointing out something that you need to know, so that that person now is hooked and says, okay, yes, I want to know that. Does this appeal to me?
Right.
And once you have not been able to do that, consider it done. So it's all, within that 10 seconds, it's all about the hook.
Understood the hook. From another perspective now, with popcorn brain, is it now that looking at movies is healthy? Because it means that I can focus on something for
You
more,
justify
more than 45 minutes. No, it might sound funny, but is it now, because we're in 2024, with the situation of scrolling, that a healthy practice is to look at a movie because it means that I can focus on one thing for a prolonged period of time?
Well, I think it depends on the movie, because in a movie as well, based on the movie, it could be a thriller, it could be exciting, you have graphics, you have hooks, as it were, every single plot line. And that's why movies that do well, I mean, let's look at, for instance, the most popular movies, which are Marvel and DC Universe.
Right.
It's because of the graphic work and the artwork and the continuously fast-paced changing visuals that you get, as opposed to if you look at a thriller or something that is probably a rom-com or a romantic movie, where you have to follow the storyline. You know, following the storyline is something that you need to condition your brain to do as well.
Right.
It's something that we previously did with reading, right? Now, a lot of reading has transferred into screen time, because we've now found new and innovative ways to communicate and use different media in order to get our point across. So what happens now, and this is also part of the study by one of the researchers, his name is Haig, persons are reconditioning their brain and their neural pathways now to intake information in different ways and different formats. So where in past years, we would intake this information by reading. Now we have the opportunity to look at movies. I mean, how many times, if you're doing literature, you're able to read a book and then the literature says, okay, the literature teacher says, okay, let's look at the movie now. Right? So that is something that I don't think 20 years ago existed. But as of the last 5 to 10 years, you can say, okay, we'll go look at the movie now, because somebody would have taken the same story, Jane Eyre, The Chrysalids, now we have Green Day by the River. So
Yes.
it's now come down to local, where you can read the book, then look at the movie, so that you have a different perspective. So our brains and our neural pathways are being reconditioned in order to process information in these new ways.
Very true. So basically, the reconditioning means that now for 2 hours, 2.5 hours on average every day, I have to have my phone. That's reality, yeah?
Yeah.
That's reality. It is a natural part and probably maybe even a need of every one of that 63 point something % that is active on social media. 2.5 hours I have to spend on social media. But how can I manage that screen time outside of watching purposeful movies? What else can I do with the screen to help me avoid popcorn brain? Because it has to be with a screen clearly.
It has to be with a screen clearly. So I think we have to ensure that how we scroll, because now we have to pay attention. It's something that prior to this, I didn't pay attention. I do swipe. Yeah.
It's called doom scrolling.
Well,
Doom
right.
scrolling,
So maybe we have to have purposeful scrolling.
Well,
Purposeful.
Yeah.
In addition to that, I think gaming is something that helps as well. In as much as maybe 10, 15 years ago it was condemned, gaming makes you zone in. You have to be attentive. You have to be strategic. You have to be good as well.
Yes.
You have to focus on how you coordinate the A, the B, the joystick, X, Y, and Z. So whereas parents condemn gaming now, gaming may actually be an avenue to help with attention span.
Yeah.
Because now, instead of me just scrolling and randomly watching people do other nonsense, I'll actually be physically playing the game. We actually have, I don't know if you all know it, I have kids so I know, we actually have a massive culture of persons who don't game but spend time
Just
consuming
looking at
content of other people playing
Playing
games.
games.
yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
this blows
Yeah.
my mind.
Yeah.
Why would I want to sit down
We have an
And
and
entire
watch
platform for this.
somebody designing millions of views?
Yes.
Designing millions of views. So we need to encourage that generation coming up. As
Okay.
simple as it might sound, to not look at
Gamification.
people playing games, but instead play the game for yourself.
Engage, yeah.
Yeah.
Can we just go back to reading on our digital devices?
No, because we have audiobooks, and now they have summaries of audiobooks, which are usually 7 to 12 minutes in length, no more.
So, but in getting into this, yes, I understand there probably is a need to manage the screen time, but we also do need to do things that take us off our screens. And it is necessary for your mind and your peace of mind to get off the screens, because it has also been proven that this phenomena actually contributes to anxiety.
Right.
And the anxiety that is that we experience, and I mean, I think coming from a millennial generation to a Gen Z, we have, especially throughout the pandemic and things like that, we have an elevated level of anxiety. And this is one of the major factors that causes this elevated level of anxiety. And it is said, and all studies have shown, that we need to now reduce screen time and do things like have screen
Downtime.
detox, yeah, like non-screen time or recharge time, so it allows your brain to not be stimulated for a period of time.
Correct.
Whether that be from just not looking at the screen, walking through the park, looking at nature, just not looking at a screen. You don't even need to meditate, you don't need to do anything else. But those are also good practices where you can literally sit and meditate, literally sit and look at the birds, sit and look outside, just not onto a screen.
So I should not Google hummingbird
Probably
and look
not.
at a video of a hummingbird fly.
Yes.
But let's help our viewing audience here, guys. I'm in my settings, so I pull down my screen. We have different phones. I have Android. Somebody with an Apple help me out here. I pull down my screen. I'm in settings. When I scroll, I'm seeing and I'm looking for digital well-being and parental control. My parent doesn't control me anymore. I go into digital well-being and parental control, and I have screen time goal. There is what Camille was talking about earlier. I can set a management on the screen time, so that after a certain time, the device or the app particularly locks. What is it on your phone, Camille? Did you find it in your settings?
I didn't, but I know that I had someone actually do it for me on my iPad.
Right.
So that is helpful. So yes, within 45 minutes,
Good.
my iPad will give me a signal. It doesn't shut off, but it alerts me that I'm approaching my my time.
Screen time limit.
Now, obviously, and what you should do as well is get somebody else to set that up for you, like Camille said, so you don't know the password. Because let's be honest, you're going to be delinquent, you'll put in your password, give yourself some more screen time, and we'll reel through the same thing. With that one, guys, we're going to go for a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Simple, but in this garden there's a snake, and it starts telling a different story. It says that if you eat of this tree, it's not going to kill you. In fact, it's going to make you become like God.
And Adam and Eve, they believe the snake, and they eat the fruit.
And because of this, the goodness of the garden is tragically lost, and evil and death enters into God's good world.
Hey, this is Tim.
And this is John.
We think one of the best ways to understand the Bible is to trace the key themes from its beginning all the way through to the end.
We also make videos that walk through the literary structure of every book of the Bible and how it relates to the whole.
JoinTheBibleProject.com.
Buenos días and welcome to the Emily Mais Talk Show. My name is Emily Mais. Tell me a little bit about your life in Venezuela.
I am more Trini than any Trinidadian.
You can see the effort of the Trinitarian people to learn Spanish too. They try to tell me something and listen, hola, whatever. They try to communicate in Spanish and they feel proud when they get it, like, hey.
People have to try more to learn the language.
Tell me about the food. How was your experience with the food in Trinidad?
Scrolling has become a natural part of everyday life right now. Statistics show that in 2024, on average, we spend 2 hours and 23 to 24 minutes per day scrolling on our phone. This is 63% of the world's population. Think about how much people that is. We've been discussing the fact that this has led to the phenomenon called popcorn brain, where basically your attention span in 2024 is 47 seconds, because you're so accustomed with the control of shifting your phone from one thing to the next. Our attention spans have minimized. They're rapidly shrinking. And we want to get control of this. And the discussion now is going to carry itself now to purposeful scrolling and managing the algorithms. All of these social media platforms have algorithms. They have an algorithm that governs and functions how it is they run, what it is you see. And I think there is a lot of room for us to take advantage of the algorithms and use them for us. Instead of them just showing us random things, you control how you interact with them, what you spend your time viewing, and as a result, your homepage on whatever platform it is becomes something that gets us away from the popcorn brain dynamic and helps us to become purposeful. I think step one, however, is as a population, 63% of us, have we accepted that this is now basically a need. I have to spend 2.5 hours every day on my phone, and that's normal. That is the new norm, because I think there is a widespread problem of denial.
Yes, there is. There's a clear culture shift. For instance, when first thing in the morning, when your eyes open, you reach for your cell phone, you check emails, you may check news or check social media, what's happening out there. If you're working police Spain, you definitely checking the traffic apps, right? So yeah, no, as soon as you wake up in the morning, you may not even tell your significant other, your kids, your parents, good morning. You reach for your cell phone. So think of that. You're sitting at the dinner table. Everybody's on their phone. If, for instance, if I'm having a conversation with someone at home and my phone dings off, I automatically get the urge. Oh my gosh, that could be an important email, and it's like an itch, like a twitch, and I have to pick up my phone to check it. So there is a culture shift. So how do I then meaningfully scroll or that 2 hours and 22.5? I don't know.
23.5.
23.5. How do I then make that meaningful? Because it's a lot of content is out there. What measures are there in place for me to say, well, okay, this content is going to be beneficial to me, and this content is not going to add to my life in any way?
But even before we get there, I want somebody to really get into it. How do we get acceptance? Because have you accepted the fact that you need to spend 2 hours a day on this?
No.
I
am in denial.
I have not.
Yeah.
So I mean to say, before we can put anything functional in place, you have to accept the fact that we spoke about Maslow's hierarchy of needs a couple of weeks ago, and we finally put in there that Wi-Fi is now a basic need.
Yes.
Looking at this data now, maybe it's no longer funny. For 63% of the world's population, it is a need.
It is.
If I don't have it for a substantial amount of time, for 2 hours every day, 2+ hours, I can't function. How do I accept now that, in as much as it might seem bad, I want to ignore it, I want to deny it, this is a part of my daily life every single day?
Well, one of the ways is to curate your content. And that can also be part of your acceptance. So you know that this is your maximized screen time. You decide exactly how is this going to be used. So I'm going to use 10 minutes in the morning to check out the traffic app. But in the afternoon, I am going to take that 45 minutes to catch up on social affairs. I'm also going to do, like myself, I might be researching a topic or such. But you need to create that. And even in the social apps, one of the things that I do personally, if I see something that comes up on my feed, I move it within that 10 seconds. If it does not appeal to me, in other words, do not send this back to me. Okay. If it's something that I would like to see more of, I ensure to click like. So I'm curating the content that I would like to come to me for that time.
Fair enough. I think definitely we need to be deliberate with what we press like on, what we spend time on, what we share, because sharing plays a pivotal part. Because guys, there is a term called echo chamber effect, and basically, when from the social media standpoint, so basically it's substantiating your own belief. I'll give you an example of this could work in social media, right? Somebody I know dies. Some young person dies. When somebody sends me the link to it, I open it up and I watch the video. I'm in so much disbelief, I watch it a second, a third, and a fourth time. So the algorithms have now picked up that I liked or I spent time on this video about a young person dying. The echo chamber effect kicks in now, where the algorithm is going to show me another one. And because I'm spiraling in grief, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to internalize it's going to hurt me even more. And then a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, a 10th, a 20th video will come. And now my whole world feels like everybody young around me is dying. I will start to go into anxiety, as you said, and I will reel down that path. Understanding the echo chamber effect now, Renato, and combining now the situation where we should be very deliberate about what we like, spend time on, and share. How do we merge those two to ensure we have purposeful scrolling?
Right. So I want to flip that and look at it from a different perspective. Right. Now, we talk about the algorithm, right? The algorithm is designed for targeted marketing. That is exactly what it's designed for. So what ends up happening, because if we know things like our most used platforms generally, any meta, so it would be Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube, and for professionals, most times LinkedIn, right?
And of course TikTok.
And well, TikTok, and I was going to get to TikTok because the TikTok algorithm is actually very different from the meta algorithm and the YouTube algorithm. Because the TikTok algorithm, you literally get everything under the face of the sun, right? And it really does not, it's not designed for marketing, right? The Meta and the YouTube stuff is designed for marketing, and that is what causes you to, as they say, create the echo chamber effect. Because, okay, so for instance, we all know sometimes, there's a scandal about Google listens to our conversations, right? I'm talking about, I want to book a trip to New York City. Within 3 minutes, I start getting ads coming to me because I was like, what to do in New York City? Skyscanner has deals.
Please tell our viewers that that's not the universe putting things in
That's
place.
exactly my point.
But we know there are the persons who think
Yes.
that this is the universe sending a sign.
Sending a sign, and that is
clear
not
up.
it. And that is
No,
not
it's
it,
just the
because the
algorithm.
algorithm is designed to, once
Yeah.
you have an interest in something, it could be travel to New York City, it could be meditation, as Camille was talking about, curating what you see. It could be meditation, it could be reading. You could say, okay, I like Shakespeare, and then suddenly you start getting a lot of things about Shakespeare. It is designed to do that, to show you things that you are interested in, as opposed to sending you everything that's under the face of the earth that you would then lose interest in. Because as we discussed, you have 47 seconds of attention. And if I don't catch you in the first 10 seconds, then I leave. So I need to now catch you in the first 10 seconds, then the next video has to catch you in the next 10 seconds, the next video has, and that is what it's designed to do.
Yeah.
As a content creator, content creators know the hook, as Camille mentioned earlier, the hook is what gets you in and what keeps you. And as you're doing it, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you keep scrolling because now your feed is full of content that you are interested in.
Yes.
Right? And as a marketer, that then puts you in the driver's seat because I know you are my customer. So I can sell to you. So I want to go to New York, so Skyscanner is going to send me an ad, Expedia is going to send me an ad, Hotwire is going to send me an ad, and everybody. But yeah, as we said, that is not the universe putting things in place. That is the algorithm telling them, this is your customer, he's going to travel to New York.
And this is how you're going to get this in. I also think as a society, as a world, we are too generous with our likes.
Yeah.
It might sound
Correct.
weird. Because you see a bunch of different things with a ridiculous amount of likes. I would say be deliberate. We know the scrollers who they are willing to double tap on everything that comes across their screen. Right? In addition to confusing the algorithm, you also just have a disjointed bunch of things on your landing, your homepage. If we're deliberate, because that's what works for me, I am very deliberate about time spent, likes, and share. So for instance, even if something draws me in, and I realize it is negative, it is something that could put me into the echo chamber effect and make me spiral, I will bite the bullet and move on. I will live in ignorance and let ignorance be bliss. I am very, very careful with the things I like on social platforms. Because I know, because I don't like often, when I do like something, instantly I'll get that content repeated.
Yeah.
So I would like something that is super effective in terms of motivation or some type of business that's relevant to me at the point in time. So that's the power of your like, if you're not wasting it all over the place. And well, the biggest is the share. At least I think so. The biggest is the share. You have to be super careful about what you share. Because what you share now says that you're so invested in this that you looked at it, you had a reaction, and you want someone else to see it. So the algorithm is going to pick up immediately on that and say, good, I am going to send this guy 100 more things like this. So be deliberate, guys. Be deliberate about how we scroll. Yeah, what do you think, Camille?
I think that is great advice, and I would even add to say, I think in some ways we have also become desensitized with some of the content, especially in sharing things that I wouldn't say distasteful, but such as crime scenes and such. We have to be more mindful that these scenes need to have trigger warnings. We need to understand that this may have an adverse effect on someone, and it is not worth sharing that content or even going as far as liking it. If you see it and you digest it, move on. But we need to be mindful about what we allow to be transmitted.
For sure, for sure. So let's stop sharing the negative. Let's share the positive. Let's own our likes, use them purposefully, and make scrolling purposeful so that we alleviate ourselves from that popcorn effect. We'll be right back, guys.
What are some of the fun ways you spend time with your family?
Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind.
Just wraps it up nicely with God, nothing is wasted.
When we let go of this obsession of who we think we are, that's when we can really embody unconditional love.
My name is Jesse McBarrow, and you are looking at Mending Minds. Tell us your Mending Mind moments.
I will say set goals.
A lot of people get so caught up in the what, they forget the why. There's this fixation of this is what I'm going to do, and they forget why you pursue that in the first place.
There's this crazy story at the beginning of the Bible. We have Adam and Eve, and they're in the Garden of Eden.
And everything in this garden is great. It's exactly as it should be, except there's this one tree that they're told by God not to eat from because it's dangerous and it will kill them.
So that's it. Avoid this fruit tree and we're fine.
Right. It seems pretty simple. But in this garden, there's a snake, and it starts telling a different story. It says that if you eat of this tree, it's not going to kill you. In fact, it's going to make you become like God.
And Adam and Eve, they believe the snake and they eat the fruit.
And because of this, the goodness of the garden is tragically lost, and evil and death enters into God's good world.
Hey, this is Tim.
And this is John.
We think one of the best ways to understand the Bible is to trace the key themes from its beginning all the way through to the end.
We also make videos that walk through the literary structure of every book of the Bible and how it relates to the whole.
JoinTheBibleProject.com.
I said, look, I cannot help how I feel. Out of all of us, I'm the only one who isn't married, engaged, or has a child. Besides, keep sticking out. I'll be real cool watching this while I meet you know.
Like I could use all the help, Smalley.
No, I could.
I could see that. But we all could use our help.
Buenos días and welcome to the Emily Mais Talk Show. My name is Emily Mais. Tell me a little bit about your life in Venezuela.
I am more Trini than any Trinidadian.
You can see the effort of the Trinitarian people to learn Spanish too. They try to tell me something and listen, hola, whatever. They try to communicate in Spanish and they feel proud when they get it like, hey.
People have to try more to learn the language.
Tell me about the food. How was your experience with the food in Trinidad?
The term of popcorn brain is a situation where like attention spans are becoming shorter. Basically down to 47 seconds right now as it is. We're saying that you need to start to scroll purposefully. You need to manage your likes, your time, and what you share. Make sure you're sharing positive things. and create an algorithm on each platform that you are on to make sure that 2 hours and 24 minutes that you spend per day on social media is effective, it's purposeful, and it lends yourself to self-development. A big part of that is ensuring that you are comfortable and acceptant of the fact that this is a normal part of life. You are going to spend 2 hours, 23 minutes on social media scrolling every day. But what you can do with that screen time is ensure that you become 2035 relevant.
Yes. In this post-pandemic, hyper-digitized world, one of the things that we really need to be taking into consideration is by 2035, would we have the digital skills to be relevant and to survive in terms of employability, in terms of our innovation, in terms of moving forward our region on a digital scale? And what are some of those skills that we need to start learning as a society? So we do know that some of the things may be search engine optimization. If you want to be self-employed, you would need to know exactly how to give yourself that visibility. Search engine metrics, we need to know everything that we're doing, making our smart objectives. We still must know how we are measuring those. We know about languages such as JavaScript and Python, and those machine learning skills, all digital skills that are going to be the language and the way forward by 2030. The question is, are we getting ready?
Well, funny you should say that. Quite recently, I actually had an interview, and one of the questions I got, are you able to use platforms such as Teams, Slack, Google Meet, Zoom? And that was kind of striking to me. That is not a normal question you would ask, because those things are not taught in schools. So yeah, how then do you learn these skills? Coming straight out of school, going into an interview, trying to get yourself ready, and with all of this digitization after COVID, yeah, it's...
The question really lies in terms of if it is we're preparing for that, what is going on at the university level across the board in Trinidad and Tobago. And I have not, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I have not heard about any major curriculum shift. So essentially, we are educating persons the same way for the same jobs that existed 20 years ago, and hoping that they take it upon themselves by some draw of the straw to figure out this by the way.
Correct.
And I had a conversation with somebody who is deeply involved in technology recently, and he told me that 2 years ago, before December 2022, when OpenAI launched ChatGPT, the world was based on the persons who could program the best.
Correct.
And that instantly shifted. And he said the world now will no longer belong to the best programmers. It will belong to the person who can prompt these AI and manipulate them the correct way. And who is teaching these children about AI? It can't be some one-day sensitization something. It can't be a shoo-shoo something in the corner, learn about this. It has to be deliberate, impactful, and across the board in every single thing.
Very true. As a region, we also have to understand that by 2030, a lot of the jobs that we know today will no longer exist. Let's just say we're going into a regional company as that of as Flow, you know, so you can go now and interact with an interface and do your own, have your own customer service and pay your own customer service bills. So those things are now being eradicated. So there is a skills gap. There is a soft skills gap, and there's also a digital gap that we need as a region to review the curriculum and see how now we can start interjecting some of these learning tools to help us be ready for survival for that time.
And to piggyback off what Randolph was saying earlier, in as late as 2018, 2019, I would advise students, yes, go into IT, learn programming, learn how to write languages and things like that. Now I have a 16-year-old nephew who's like, yes, I like programming. I could write Python very easily. And I'm like, yeah, but you know what? ChatGPT can literally do what you took 2 hours to do in 3 minutes.
Correct.
Right? So to tie that into what you just said, Camille, as well as when we discussed last week about soft skills, right? The soft skills that are required for us now, for our kids, for the up-and-coming generation, are different from what we learned. So where we learned about, attentive listening and standing and doing presentations and being articulate in our speech and doing debate, those things are not as relevant as you said, the ability to learn to manipulate AI, to learn to use AI to then perform your job more efficiently and more effectively.
Creative thinking and problem solving.
A good example that I use, and I mentioned it before, is that we have agencies, ad agencies, that spend lots of time writing copy and coming up with ideas. I could literally prompt ChatGPT to do. I sat and planned out an entire podcast series in half an hour. It's utilizing the tools. AI is a powerful tool that's been given to us. How we use it is really, it's as good as it will give us the results that we use it more effectively.
Correct.
Right? So we need to be able to understand now how to maximize on the tools that we have. We spoke about SEO. Last week we were talking about sometimes as a small business owner, in your tool belt, you need to be able to do videography skills. That's just the way it is. That has to be a tool. Just like how we used to be able to learn to type, you need to be able to take good videos, use a filter, post it properly. That is just a tool that you must have in your tool belt. Make your product look good. So I think, as we rightfully say, there's not a one size fits all for everything. You really need to know what tools are applicable to your business or your student or your learning or what you want to do, and really be able to grab hold of these digital tools that we have at our disposal and utilize them well.
But I think it's also grabbing hold of the right tools. Because if you look at how AI is evolving, yes, we use ChatGPT, but there are others like Gemini, which actually learns for itself. And this morning I sat through a session for a CRM software where you're no longer going to have a person behind the computer screen. It's all artificial intelligence, and it continues to build and learn as the customer asks questions and answers and responses are given. It will pull information from your website. So then, are we picking the right tools to even become relevant digitally in 2035? Because here it is now, we have a whole host of digital tools, a whole host of languages. We have kids in university and they're trying to figure out to plot their future. How then do we advise them? Okay, this is where 2035, these are the jobs and this is what you need to study to get there.
I think it starts with telling our viewing audience about the giants in the AI industry. We have OpenAI with ChatGPT. We have Google with Gemini. And Microsoft is Copilot. Copilot is more high-tech. Based on these programs. Because what went on, at least in my analytical opinion, is that ChatGPT came out November, December 2022. They were the first people to break through, to have a chatbot that can respond to you. Obviously, this is a sales company. They needed to make money. They started to sell the APN. APN is the term, right? Right. And when they sold their APN and gave people access, everybody, overnight, we had 5,000, 10,000 different sites that all of a sudden are AI. And they're literally just piggybacking off of the original design of these giants. So you want to become proficient in AI and be relevant for not even 2035, for 2025. Let's be honest. For 2025. Don't think that you have time. Start to interact with these things now. Don't be afraid of them. Think about the fact that they are here to stay. And we are actually moving from AI to GI, General Intelligence. Only because there was a management mix-up in OpenAI, we don't have it already. But they were very close to breaking that gap with general intelligence. So next year it might be a totally different framework.
Correct.
So get relevant now. Get into these algorithms.
Yeah, and what's interesting as well is that the technology is developing faster than one, we can consume, as well as two, regulators can manage.
Yeah, that's right.
Because we have not, some of the territories by which these softwares are being developed in, which is in most cases California and just the US in general, they have still not been able to write policies that will manage AI. The GDPR,
and we're going to talk about that as soon as we come back from this break, guys.
What are some of the fun ways you spend time with your family?
Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind.
Just wraps it up nicely with God, nothing is wasted.
When we let go of this obsession of who we think we are, that's when we can really embody unconditional love.
My name is Jesse McBarrow, and you are looking at Mending Minds. Tell us your Mending Mind moment.
I will say set goals.
A lot of people get so caught up in the what, they forget the why. There's this fixation of this is what I'm going to do, and they forget why you pursue that in the first place.
There's this crazy story at the beginning of the Bible. We have Adam and Eve, and they're in the Garden of Eden.
And everything in this garden is great. It's exactly as it should be, except there's this one tree that they're told by God not to eat from because it's dangerous and it will kill them.
So that's it. Avoid this fruit tree and we're fine.
Right. It seems pretty simple. But in this garden, there's a snake. And it starts telling a different story. It says that if you eat of this tree, it's not going to kill you. In fact, it's going to make you become like God.
And Adam and Eve, they believe the snake and they eat the fruit.
And because of this, the goodness of the garden is tragically lost, and evil and death enters into God's good world.
Hey, this is Tim.
And this is John.
We think one of the best ways to understand the Bible is to trace the key themes from its beginning all the way through to the end.
We also make videos that walk through the literary structure of every book of the Bible and how it relates to the whole.
JoinTheBibleProject.com.
Buenos días and welcome to the Emily Mais Talk Show. My name is Emily Mais. Tell me a little bit about your life in Venezuela.
I am more Trini than any Trinidadian.
You can see the effort of the Trinitarian people to learn Spanish too. They try to tell me something and listen, hola, whatever. They try to communicate in Spanish and they feel proud when they get it like, hey.
People have to try more to learn the language.
Tell me about the food. How was your experience with the food in Trinidad?
It's really important now to become relevant with the way that things are going in this age. We are in the age of AI, guys. Very soon, in the blink of an eye, we can be in the age of GI, general intelligence, or something even further than that. What we're saying is that yes, it's shifting quickly, but you don't need to be scared. You need to be prepared. Get familiar with the popular tools out there and start working with them, practicing them, and thinking forward about how you can apply it to your present job. So even if your job gets replaced with AI, you're relevant because some part of it will always have to be done by a human. We will always be the critical thinkers and the problem solvers. Make that your strength and you will be relevant for 2025, 26 or 2020.
2035.
Yes. But guys, the winds are blowing,
Oh my.
and we have Sahara dust all across the nation. What is the impact of Sahara dust, Anya?
Goodness. So this is a topic that hits home to me. I washed my car on Wednesday afternoon. I did not go anywhere Tuesday. Came out this morning. My car looked like it just went through a sandstorm. And this is me like, what happened? You were just parked in the yard. And I'm constantly sweeping my front porch. there's just dust. And I'm like, where is this dust coming from? And now I'm concerned because I'm hearing my friends and my neighbors and my family talk about itchy eyes, sore throats, itchy skins. Imagine those who suffer with respiratory problems. Yeah. So guys, did you notice that we've been having a surge of Sahara dust in the last few days? Well, actually in the last week and a half. And from what I'm told, and doing some research with the weather stations, is that we're going to have some more dust coming our way. So, Ray, have you survived?
I've survived. That's why I've been missing for the last few days, because I have to be holed up in my hermetically sealed living room with all my windows closed and doors closed and the air conditioning on, because I genuinely can't come outside without a mask. You know, it's really bad.
It's really bad. Camille?
It's the same for me. I have just been surviving it, especially at night. I tend to now have hay fever. So, again, it is something that I know that is challenging. And a lot of people who never used to suffer with allergies, and it's now bothering them. So there's a definite health issue with that. Also, but there are some benefits to the Sahara dust. And I think that's one of the things that we also have to look at. Yes, it may be affecting our health, but it's also beneficial to our region. So let's explore some of those, because I have just found out this afternoon in a little bit of research that the dust actually helps to quell the possibility of us having hurricanes in our region. So we might sneeze a little bit more, but in hurricane season, that definitely helps us a lot.
Well, Camille, I don't know if my dad will agree with you. He's very strong in his opinion that there's no good can come out of the Sahara dust. And we know a lot is tied with that. But yes, there are benefits. Did you think that they would have any benefits to the Sahara dust?
I am still in shock. The mountains have disappeared. I can't tell you when is the last time I have had a clean nostril to smell something properly. I'm consistently stuffy. And no offense, Camille, but I don't think hurricanes tend to pass through Trinidad and Tobago, right? In the middle
because God is a Trini.
Because God is a Trini. So I think that the Sahara dust can go back. It could take its 10,000 kilometer journey back to where it came from and leave us alone.
In the Sahara, yes, I agree.
Yeah, okay, but guess what? That means we'll have hurricanes, because the Sahara dust brings dry air, which causes the itchy skin and causes the dryness and all of that Mr. Hassan Ali bubbled himself in. Yes. So the dry air would then suppress hurricane forming winds.
Okay.
So we don't get hurricane forming winds. Also, did you know that the Sahara dust has a lot of phosphates and nitrates, and it's good for plant growth? So we have rainforests here in the Caribbean.
Right.
So without the dust aiding the trees to grow, then what? Would we have sufficient oxygen to breathe?
I'll get manure.
I'll
take my manure, my nice little chicken manure and my little horse manure. I'll take that. It's all right.
And she is saying all of that, Reynaldo, and trying to justify that we have 43 million tons of Sahara dust that has traveled and settled in the Caribbean Sea.
Yeah.
And there is a massive fall besides now, because you're saying dry air. Think about the multiple repercussions. I'm sure you all have experienced it. I am personally experienced it with my skin. My skin is a lot more drier, to the point that if it is I don't apply cream and I scratch later in the day, it's almost bruising. It is almost bruising. That was not the situation before.
That's the texture of the dust. And do you know the texture also helps, because it's rough in texture? It also prevents the tropical waves from forming, again preventing hurricanes, right? So it's the texture of that I'm trying to justify.
But for allergy sufferers like myself, that causes bladders on your skin, which is a problem.
Get some malaria. But so some facts: the Sahara dust embarks on more than a 10,000 kilometer journey across the Atlantic Ocean. So it comes to the Caribbean and of course the Amazon basin. And it's so huge that NASA has reported that from space they see it as this large haze. So it can actually be seen from space. Approximately 43 million tons of Sahara dust settle out over the Caribbean Sea. I can't even begin to imagine how much that is. Yeah.
I think 40 of that 43 came through my lungs, but yeah.
Oh, probably to your front door. Right? So beside the hurricane suppressing, and beside, of course, it helps the rainforest to grow, but do you know that the iron in the dust is what gives it that darkish color? Yeah, a dark red color. Because if you sweep it up, you'd look at it, you're like, but this is not regular dust, right? So it's dark red, but it's the iron. And when that settles over the Caribbean Sea, it then feeds the plankton, which then reproduces, and photosynthesis, for those who remember the term. Fun fact, that was one of the first words I learned to spell. Photosynthesis. So what happens is that it produces oxygen, and then that helps us to breathe. It helps to keep the air clean. So even though the dust is coming, it's settling. Ray is not convinced. Ray is not convinced on the Sahara
Still not
dust.
happy about it.
Yeah, but it's here to stay clearly. But what are the prevention things that we can put in place, or what are the opportunities that could come out of the influx of Sahara dust? There must be business opportunities. There also needs to be things that have to be done by the Ministry of Health to help persons, because persons are clearly suffering. It's having a big impact on wheezing, asthma attacks, breathing, as you said, blisters on your skin, and so many other things. So this could become a major health problem. And before we wait for it to become a major health problem, what preventative measures can be put in place?
Well, I think we have to manage our environments, as Renato does, you know. So if we can stay indoors, most times, if we must go out and it's affecting us, wear a mask, maybe our clothing, try to cover our skin a little bit more if that it affects you in that way. And you know, just as we go along, clean our homes a little bit more often. I know I'm constantly, because I live on a main street, and that is one of my challenges. So I'm always constantly cleaning. But these are just some of the things that need to be now our norm.
It needs to be our norm.
In addition to that, there is now opportunities with every difficulty that comes to the country. There are opportunities for persons who sell face masks or any kind of device that can help you breathe and prevent that. There's also big opportunities for persons who are in skincare.
Yes.
How would you market this? Sahara dust Renato. And how it is I can pivot that to benefit my sales in those industries.
As you say, I guess Sahara dust pedicure, right?
No, but there are opportunities as well in persons cleaning air-conditioned units, because now more persons are using the air-conditioned units, and of course the dust will get trapped in there. So curious though, I'm wondering, are we paying more in electricity using air-conditioned units more? Our bills would go up.
Over the last months, hasn't TNTEC issued the highest consumption rates, like twice or three times
in
a couple of days? In their history. In their history, they recorded the highest consumption rates for the country.
And that is because of the prevalence now of air conditioning units in the country, which was never as prevalent before, because we have more persons in higher income brackets who can afford to buy air conditioning units to fix their houses and things like that, to make it ready for that, right? But even more than that, and I will say masks, I am an advocate to bring back the masks, because like I was expressing last time, for the 2 years that we wore masks during the pandemic, I had not had an allergy flare-up at all, right? And we had really good designer masks. I had my Star Wars masks, which was very good, you know? So I enjoyed that. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities, but it really does lie to the individual. Prevention is better than cure. I do appreciate the fact that the medical services, they have been putting things in place when it comes to like nebulizers, and they will prioritize persons who coming into the emergency room with breathing problems. You know, from a triage perspective, they have put things in place, which is great.
That's good. But like it's here to say, sad to say, it is here to say, But there are so many things that can come out of this, because you all spoke about air conditioned units now, which means consumption is going up, which means there is a greater strain now on the government's ability to subsidize electricity, which could possibly mean very soon, because of this dynamic, we're going to see that subsidy being removed.
Or we'll see solar air conditioned units coming into the market.
We just spoke about business opportunities. That's a hell of a good business opportunity, solar air conditioning.
Mhm.
And with that one, guys, I want us to bring this show to a wrap. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. We're so happy to have all of you here with us on this Friday edition of Sunset on Plus TV. Remember, we stream live Monday to Friday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. You can find us on Tego TV, also on Facebook and YouTube. You can see us live at 6 p.m. and replays at 11 p.m. nightly and 12 midday each day. From all of us guys, Renato, Camille, Anya, and myself, we want to wish you a fantastic weekend. Remember, stay relevant. Use your time to scroll purposefully. Protect yourself against the Sahara dust, and we'll see you.
I was introduced to carnival, they say I lose all down on the ground, walking up my bottom and it dragging all over tongue, and they say I lose her than, lose it, I'm sweeter than, juicy. This carnival have me so damn loose. Get loose, how you get loose, get loose, how you get loose, get loose, how you get loose, get loose, how you loose, I lose her than, loose it. Sweeter than juicy, this carnival have me so damn loose. Get loose, how you get loose, get loose, how you get loose, get loose, how you loosen your way till them with the pain. Now show me your softness, show me your went and practice. Lucy is a carnivalist, and that is why I behave so loose. All down on the ground, walking up the bottom, and it's dragging all over tongue, and it's
At the tone, please record your voice message. When you are finished recording, you may hang up or press pound for more options.
Hey babe, I just want to say I'll be home soon. Not sure when though, but it's gonna be soon, right? Long overdue, I guess. Anyway, love you. Bye-bye.
You give me something I need, yeah. You give me something I bleed, yeah. You give me something I crave, oh, I really need you too. I really wanna feel great now, so let me have my way now. No one ever gonna leave, cause I'm so invested in you. Cause I really feel a vibe every time you set the right down. And nobody like this, man, it's nothing like this, and it's nothing like you. Nothing and nobody like you. And every single time we touch, no one ever wanna stop, because I always wanna let you know that I love you so much, it's nobody like you. Nothing and nobody like you. So, make me ball out. Long time is overdue. Long time is overdue. Make me ball out. Long time is overdue. Long time is overdue. Because you're special to me. Special to me. Very special. I'll be sure now, bound to come back. Please don't fall off, don't break my heart. Like the moon now, and the star shine. Give me all now, not a fraction. Get to the point now, so just full stop till the last beat, and me heart stop. Sir, I really feel a vibe every time we settle right down. And nobody like this, and nobody like you. Nothing and nobody like you. So me tell them, and every single time we touch, no one ever wanna stop, 'cause I wanna let you know that I love you so much. And it's nobody like you. Make me ball out. Long time is a overdue. Long time is a overdue. Make me ball out. Long time is a overdue. Long time is a overdue. Think I am special to me. Special to me. Very special. Very special. Whoa, whoa. Think I am special to me. Me. Very special. Very special. Whoa, whoa. You give me something I need, yeah. You give me something I bleed, yeah. You give me something I crave, oh, I really need you too. I really wanna feel great now, so let me have my way now. No one ever gonna leave. So invest in you. If I leave home, well, I tell she a real close. Girl, I almost there. All inclusive fed. Yeah, tonight go her real vibes. This crowd here go be real nice. She can't find me ticket. I done by the door. Realize I have to pay more. I have to get in because this red not missing me. It's not missing me. I want to go big people party, make me and ask if I leave home. Well, I tell she a real close. Y'all are almost there. All inclusive fed. Yeah, tonight go her real vibes. This crowd yeah go be real nice. Can't find me ticket. I done by the door. Realize I had to pay more. I have to get in because this is not missing me. It's not missing me. I want to go big people party, make the music take over me. I want to jump up all day, all day. I want to wind up all day, all day. I want big people party and liquor up inside me. I want to jump up all day, all day. I want to wind up all day. Head back down a real high and a real tight. That's not the old. That's not the old. Man a real high and a real vibe. That's not the old. That's not the old. to eat. We can't take it knock up all the time. The spirit is carnival. Put you up. Bolo give my rose fresh thing.
Make it two, I want one.
Chase done. We at the drink street. Look, the police coming, low down the music, low down the music, the police is coming. I ain't taking no lock up falling. You know they go call for my name. Hey officer, what's up?
Yo, but B, these girls, right, in this fast right challenge, this is craziness. Yo, only watch this now. Shadow, watch this. You tell me that is real.